Girls can't play basketball. Get off my court, Coach Jordan had screamed 6 years ago. Season opener. The team had been sold. New owner announcement at halftime. Jordan stood courtside, clueless. Please welcome your new owner, Destiny Williams. She walked onto the court in a $50,000 outfit, ownership trophy in hand. Jordan's clipboard fell. 3 children in tiny team jerseys ran onto the court holding players' hands. Daddy, we own the team! The stadium went silent, then erupted. Jordan's assistant coach leaned in. Boss, those kids have your face. 20,000 fans watched Jordan's career end. But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. Now, subscribe to the channel and let's get started. Sign my jersey, coach, please. Jordan Williams smiled and took the black marker from the young boy's hand. The boy wore a Detroit Thunder jersey with Jordan's name on the back. Jordan signed his name across the number and handed the marker back. Thank you, Coach Williams. You're the best. Jordan walked through the parking lot at Thunder Arena. It was 6 o'clock in the evening. The sun was setting over Detroit, Michigan. Cars filled every space in the lot. Fans walked toward the arena entrance wearing blue and silver Thunder jerseys. Some of them waved at Jordan. Others asked for pictures. Jordan stopped and smiled for every photo. This was opening night of the basketball season, his 10th season as head coach. He was 36 years old, and everyone in Detroit knew his name. Jordan walked through the main entrance and into the building. Security guards nodded at him. Staff members said hello. Jordan wore a dark blue suit with a Thunder logo pin on his left lapel. His shoes were black and polished. He walked with his chest out and his chin up. He owned this building. Not legally, but everyone knew the Thunder was his team. He built this program. He won 2 championships in the last 6 years. His face was on billboards all over the city. Jordan took the elevator to the 2nd floor and walked down the hallway to his office. The door had his name on it in gold letters. He went inside and closed the door. His office had a large desk, a leather chair, and a flat-screen television on the wall. Shelves held 2 golden championship trophies. Photos covered another wall. Jordan with the mayor of Detroit. Jordan with famous players. Jordan holding a trophy above his head. He looked at the photos and felt satisfied. This was his life. This was his success. Someone knocked on the door. Come in, Jordan said. The door opened and a man in his 40s walked in. His name was Mark Chen. He was one of Jordan's assistant coaches. You ready for tonight, coach? Mark asked. Always ready, Jordan said. Is the team in the locker room? Yeah, everyone's here. They look focused. Jordan nodded. Good. Tell them I'll be down in 10 minutes. Mark left and closed the door. Jordan sat at his desk and opened his laptop. He looked at the game plan one more time. Tonight they were playing the Boston Celtics. The Celtics were good, but Jordan's team was better. He felt confident. He always felt confident. Jordan walked down to the locker room at 6:30. His players sat on benches wearing their uniforms. The room was large and clean. Lockers lined the walls. The Thunder logo covered the floor in the center of the room. Jordan stood in front of his team and looked at each player. Tonight is opening night, Jordan said. 20,000 people are going to fill this arena. They're coming to see you win. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to play hard. We're going to play smart. And we're going to show Boston why we're champions. You understand? Yes, coach, the players said together. Jordan smiled. Let's go. The team walked out of the locker room and into the tunnel that led to the court. Jordan walked behind them. He could hear the crowd already. Music played loudly. Fans cheered. At 7 o'clock, The announcer's voice boomed through the arena. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Thunder Arena. Please welcome your Detroit Thunder." The team ran onto the court. The crowd exploded. 20,000 people stood and cheered. Jordan walked out last. He waved to the crowd and they cheered louder. He stood on the sideline and looked around the arena. Every seat was filled. Blue and silver banners hung from the ceiling. This was his home. The game started. Jordan paced up and down the sideline. He shouted instructions to his players. "Move the ball! Get open! Play defense!" His team played well. By the end of the first quarter, they were winning by 8 points. By the end of the second quarter, they were winning by 15 points. Jordan felt good. Everything was going exactly as he planned. When halftime arrived, Jordan walked toward the locker room. But then the announcer's voice stopped him. "Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your seats. We have a very special announcement." Jordan turned around. He stood near the tunnel and looked at the court. The crowd quieted down. Everyone waited. As many of you know, the Detroit Thunder was recently sold for $800 million. Tonight, we are proud to introduce the new owner of your Detroit Thunder. Jordan watched from the sideline. He was curious but not worried. He heard rumors about the sale for weeks, but nobody told him who bought the team. His agent said not to worry. The new owner would not change anything. Please welcome the new owner of the Detroit Thunder, Destiny Robinson. Jordan's body went cold. His hand stopped moving. His breath stopped. The water bottle he was holding fell to the floor. It could not be. That name. He had not heard that name in 6 years. A woman walked onto the court from the opposite tunnel. She wore a white suit. Her hair was pulled back in long braids. She carried a golden trophy that said "Owner" on the front. The crowd cheered. Jordan stared at her face. He recognized her immediately. It was Destiny, the woman he humiliated 6 years ago, the woman he told to leave and never come back, the woman he got pregnant, the woman he abandoned. Jordan could not move. His legs felt heavy. His heart pounded in his chest. Destiny walked to center court. She did not look at him. She held the trophy above her head and smiled at the crowd. The cameras followed her. Her face appeared on the giant screens hanging above the court. Then Jordan saw movement near the tunnel where Destiny entered. 3 children ran onto the court, 2 girls and 1 boy. They were small, maybe 5 years old. They wore matching Detroit Thunder jerseys. The jerseys were white with blue numbers. On the back, each jersey said Robinson. The children ran toward Destiny. She knelt down and hugged them. The crowd cheered louder. Jordan watched from across the court. He could not look away. The little boy turned and looked directly at Jordan. Then the boy started running. He ran across the court toward Jordan. The 2 girls stayed with Destiny. But the boy kept running. Jordan's chest tightened. The boy stopped 3 feet in front of him. He had dark skin and bright eyes. He smiled a huge smile. Then he yelled. His voice was loud and clear. Every person in the arena heard him. "Daddy, Mommy owns your team now." The entire arena went silent. 20,000 people stopped cheering. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Every camera in the building turned toward Jordan. His face appeared on every screen above the court. He was 6 feet 4 inches tall, standing in a dark blue suit, frozen like a statue. He could not hide. He could not run. He could not speak. Jordan looked at the little boy. The boy had his eyes, the same dark brown eyes Jordan saw in the mirror every morning. The boy had his nose, his smile. Jordan looked across the court at the 2 girls standing with Destiny. They were staring at him now. They had his face, too. Jordan's mind raced. These were his children. He had 3 children. They were 5 years old. He never met them. He never called. He never visited. He told Destiny to handle it alone. And she did. She raised them without him. And now she was standing at center court, holding a trophy that said she owned his entire world. Destiny looked at Jordan from across the court. Her face showed no emotion. She did not smile. She did not frown. She just looked at him. Then she turned, took the children by their hands, and walked off the court. The crowd slowly started cheering again. But it was quieter now. Confused. People whispered to each other. They pointed at Jordan. They looked at their phones. Jordan stood on the sideline. His hands were shaking. He looked down and saw the water bottle on the floor. He bent down and picked it up. His assistant coach, Mark, walked over. "Coach, are you okay?" Mark asked. Jordan did not answer. He could not answer. He walked toward the tunnel. He needed to sit down. He needed to breathe. The second half of the game was about to start. But Jordan could not think about basketball. He could only think about 3 children he never met. 3 children who had his face. 3 children whose mother now controlled everything he built. Jordan sat on the bench as the second half started. His team walked back onto the court. The referee blew the whistle. But Jordan could not focus. He looked up at the owner's box on the second level of the arena. He saw Destiny sitting in a large leather chair. The 3 children sat next to her eating popcorn. They looked happy. They looked safe. They looked like a family. Jordan tried to coach. He tried to call plays, but his mind would not work. His players looked at him confused. Mark had to call most of the plays. The Thunder stopped playing well. Boston started scoring. By the end of the third quarter, Boston was winning. By the end of the game, Boston won by 20 points. The crowd booed. Fans walked toward the exits, disappointed. Jordan stood on the sideline as the final buzzer sounded. He looked up at the owner's box one more time. Destiny was standing. She held the hand of one of the girls. The boy held her other hand. The other girl walked beside them. They left the box and disappeared. Jordan walked off the court. Reporters waited near the tunnel. They shouted questions at him. "Coach Williams, who was that child who called you Daddy? Coach Williams, is Destiny Robinson the mother of your children? Coach Williams, did you know she bought the team?" Jordan did not answer. He pushed through the reporters and walked into the tunnel. He went to his office and closed the door. He sat in his chair in the dark. His hands would not stop shaking. His whole life just changed. Everything he built, everything he controlled, it was gone. Destiny owned it now, and there was nothing he could do. Jordan tried to focus on the second half, but his hands would not stop shaking, and he knew his life would never be the same again. Jordan sat in the darkness for 30 minutes. He did not turn on the lights. He did not check his phone. He just sat in his leather chair and stared at the wall. His championship trophies sat on the shelf in front of him, but he could not look at them. They meant nothing now. Someone knocked on the door. Jordan did not answer. The knock came again, louder this time. "Coach Williams?" a woman's voice said through the door. Jordan stood up slowly. He walked to the door and opened it. A woman in her 30s stood in the hallway. She wore a gray suit and held a tablet in her hands. Her black hair was pulled into a tight bun. "Yes?" Jordan said. His voice sounded tired. "My name is Patricia Cole. I work for Miss Robinson. She would like to see you in her office immediately." Jordan felt his stomach tighten. "Where is her office?" "10th floor. I'll show you." Jordan followed Patricia down the hallway. Other coaches and staff members walked past them. Some looked at Jordan with confused expressions. Others whispered to each other. Jordan kept his eyes on the floor. They reached the elevator, and Patricia pressed the button. The doors opened and they stepped inside. "10th floor," Patricia said as she pressed the button. The elevator moved upward. Jordan had only been to the 10th floor twice in 10 years. That was where the owner's office was located. The previous owner rarely came to games. He lived in California and did not care about basketball. He just wanted to make money. Jordan never thought about who owned the team. He ran the team. He made the decisions. The owner was just a name on paper. But now, everything was different. The elevator doors opened. Patricia stepped out, and Jordan followed. The hallway looked completely different from what he remembered. There was a new carpet on the floor, new lights on the ceiling, expensive paintings hung on the walls. Everything looked clean and modern. Patricia walked down the hallway and stopped at a large wooden door at the end. "Miss Robinson is inside," Patricia said. "You can go in." Jordan reached for the door handle. His hand was shaking. He opened the door and stepped inside. The office was huge, 3 times bigger than Jordan's office. Floor-to-ceiling windows covered the far wall. The windows looked out over the city of Detroit. The lights from buildings sparkled in the darkness. A massive wooden desk sat in the center of the room. Behind the desk were 2 leather chairs. Shelves lined the walls, holding books and folders. Destiny sat behind the desk. She still wore the white suit from the court. Her hands were folded on the desk in front of her. She looked at Jordan, but did not speak. Jordan stood in the middle of the room. The door closed behind him. He did not know what to say. He did not know what to do. So he just stood there. Destiny watched him for a long time, maybe 2 full minutes. The silence felt heavy. Finally, she spoke. "Sit down, Jordan." Jordan walked to one of the chairs in front of the desk and sat down. His mouth was completely dry. "Do you know why you're here?" Destiny asked. Her voice was calm, no emotion. "No," Jordan said quietly. "You're here because we need to have a conversation. A conversation that should have happened 6 years ago." Jordan looked down at his hands. He could not look at her face. "You still have your job as head coach of the Detroit Thunder," Destiny said. Jordan felt a small sense of relief, but it only lasted 1 second. "But things are different now," Destiny continued. "You work for me. Every decision you make goes through me first. Your starting lineup, your assistant coaches, your game strategy, everything. If I don't like something, it changes. Do you understand?" "Yes," Jordan said. His voice was barely a whisper. "Look at me when I'm talking to you." Jordan lifted his head. He looked at Destiny's face. She had not changed much in 6 years. Her face was a little older, but her eyes were the same. Strong, focused. "The 3 children you saw tonight," Destiny said. "Their names are Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus. They are 5 years old. They are your biological children." Jordan felt like someone punched him in the chest. He knew it was true the moment he saw them, but hearing Destiny say it made it real. I didn't know you had triplets," Jordan said. "You didn't know because you never answered my calls. You told me to handle it alone. So I did." "Destiny, Don't interrupt me." Jordan closed his mouth. "You will see Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus at every home game," Destiny said. "They live in Detroit now. They live with me in a house in Bloomfield Hills. But you have no legal rights as their father. You are not on their birth certificates. You abandoned them before they were born. I raised them alone for 5 years while you stood on a basketball court being celebrated." Jordan's hands gripped the armrests of the chair. He wanted to say something. He wanted to apologize. But Destiny kept talking. "If you want to be part of their lives, you will earn that privilege slowly. Under my rules, I decide when you see them. I decide for how long, and if you do anything to hurt them, You will never see them again. Do you understand?" "Yes," Jordan said. "Destiny, please. I need to say something." "What?" "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was young. I was stupid. I wasn't ready to be a father. I should have answered your calls. I should have helped you. I was wrong. I know I was wrong." Destiny's face did not change. She looked at Jordan like he was a stranger. "You think sorry fixes this?" she asked. Her voice was still calm, but Jordan could hear the anger underneath. "Sorry doesn't pay rent when you're pregnant and living in your car. Sorry doesn't feed 3 babies at 2 in the morning when you're alone and you haven't slept in 3 days. Sorry doesn't build a company from nothing while everyone tells you that you're going to fail." "I know," Jordan said. "I know sorry isn't enough." "You're right. It isn't." Destiny stood up from her chair. She walked to the window and looked out at the city. 6 years ago, you told me women don't understand basketball," Destiny said. "You laughed at me in front of the entire practice gym. You told me women are too emotional to coach. You told me to leave and never come back. Do you remember that?" Jordan remembered. He remembered every word. "Yes. I left Detroit that night with $600 in my bank account. I slept in my car for 2 weeks. I taught myself computer programming on a laptop I bought at a pawn shop for $80. I was pregnant with triplets, and I had no money, no family, no help. Just me." Destiny turned around and looked at Jordan. "I built a software company called Rise Up Tech while raising 3 babies alone. I worked 20 hours a day. I didn't sleep. I didn't take vacations. I built websites. I created apps. I grew the company. Last year, I sold it for $2 billion. Jordan's eyes widened. $2 billion. "I became one of the richest women in America," Destiny said, "and then I bought your basketball team. I bought it because you told me women don't belong in basketball. I bought it to prove you wrong." Jordan sat in the chair. He felt small. He felt ashamed. Everything he thought he built, everything he thought he controlled, was nothing compared to what Destiny accomplished. "Can I see them?" Jordan asked quietly. "Can I see the kids?" "Eventually. Not tonight. Please, Destiny. Let me meet them. Let me try to fix this." "You don't get to fix this in one night, Jordan. You walked away from them for 5 years. You'll spend the next 5 years earning their trust. Maybe longer. I'll do anything." Destiny walked back to her desk and sat down. "You can leave now." Jordan stood up slowly. His legs felt weak. He walked toward the door. When he reached it, he turned around. "What do I call you?" he asked. "At work. What do I call you?" "Miss Robinson," Destiny said, "or boss. Your choice." Jordan nodded. He opened the door and stepped into the hallway. The door closed behind him. He stood there trying to breathe, trying to think, trying to understand how his entire life fell apart in 3 hours. Then he heard voices. Children's voices. Jordan looked down the hallway. The 3 children were sitting on a bench near the elevator. Patricia stood next to them holding her tablet. The little boy was swinging his legs back and forth. One of the girls was reading a book. The other girl was looking directly at Jordan. She stood up from the bench. She was the tallest of the 3. She had long braids in her hair with colorful beads at the ends. She wore a white dress with a blue sweater. She walked toward Jordan slowly. Her eyes never left his face. She stopped 5 feet in front of him. Patricia called her name. "Maya, come back here." But Maya did not move. She stared at Jordan. Her face was serious. She crossed her arms in front of her chest. "Are you really our dad?" Jordan looked at this little girl who had his eyes and his nose and his face. This little girl he never met. This little girl he abandoned before she was born. He did not know what to say. He did not know if he had the right to say yes. But the little girl was waiting for an answer. Jordan knelt down slowly. His knees touched the carpet. Now he was at the same height as Maya. He looked into her eyes. They were the same dark brown as his own. He opened his mouth to answer, but his throat felt tight. "Yes," he finally said. "I'm your father." Maya did not smile. She kept her arms crossed. "Why didn't you ever come see us?" Jordan had no answer. He tried to think of words that would make sense to a 5-year-old child. But there were no words. How could he explain what he did? How could he tell her he was selfish and scared and wrong? "I made a mistake," Jordan said quietly. "A very big mistake." "What kind of mistake?" Maya asked. Before Jordan could answer, the other little girl stood up from the bench. She walked over slowly and stood next to Maya. She had the same braids and the same beads in her hair, but her face was softer, less serious. She looked at Jordan with curious eyes. "You look like us," she said. She pointed at Jordan's eyes. "Your eyes are the same color as mine." Jordan nodded. "Yes, they are." "I'm Kennedy," the girl said. "That's Maya, and that's Marcus." She pointed to the little boy still sitting on the bench. Marcus jumped off the bench and ran over. He wore jeans and a red shirt with a cartoon superhero on the front. He had short, twisted hair and a big smile. "Do you play basketball?" Marcus asked. "Yes," Jordan said. "I coach basketball." "Can you teach me? I want to learn how to dunk." Jordan felt a small smile on his face. "You're a little too short to dunk right now, but I can teach you other things." "Like what?" Marcus asked. "Like how to dribble, how to shoot, how to pass the ball to your teammates." Marcus's eyes got big. "That sounds cool." Maya stepped closer to Jordan. Her face was still serious. "Why didn't you come when we were babies?" Jordan looked down at the floor. He could not look at her face when he answered. "I wasn't ready to be a dad. I thought my job was more important than being a father. I was wrong about everything." "Did you not want us?" Kennedy asked. Her voice was small and quiet. Jordan's chest hurt. It felt like someone was squeezing his heart. He looked at Kennedy's face and saw tears starting to form in her eyes. "No," Jordan said quickly. "That's not... He stopped. He did not know what to say. Every word felt wrong. "Mom said you told her to take care of us alone," Maya said. "She said you didn't answer her phone calls." Jordan nodded. "That's true. I did those things. And I was wrong. I hurt your mom, and I hurt you, all 3 of you." "Are you going to leave again?" Marcus asked. His smile was gone now. His face looked worried. "No," Jordan said. "I'm not going to leave." "People who leave once can leave twice," Maya said. Her voice sounded exactly like Destiny's voice, cold and certain. Patricia walked over to the children. "It's time to go home. Your mother is waiting." Kennedy looked at Patricia, then back at Jordan. "Can we see you again?" "I hope so," Jordan said. "That's up to your mother," Patricia said. "Come on, kids." Maya turned and walked back to the bench. She picked up a small backpack. Kennedy followed her. Marcus stayed for a second longer. He looked at Jordan. "Bye," Marcus said. "Bye, Marcus." The 3 children walked to the elevator with Patricia. None of them hugged Jordan. None of them waved. The elevator doors opened, and they stepped inside. The doors closed. They were gone. Jordan stood alone in the empty hallway. He stood there for a long time, maybe 10 minutes. Then he walked to the elevator and pressed the button. He went down to the 2nd floor and returned to his office. He closed the door and sat in his chair. He pulled out his phone and typed Destiny's name into the search bar. "Destiny Robinson." Hundreds of results appeared. Jordan started reading. Asterisk Destiny Robinson sells tech company for $2 billion. Destiny Robinson named one of America's most successful entrepreneurs. Destiny Robinson, from homeless to billionaire. Jordan clicked on the articles one by one. Each article told pieces of her story. She taught herself computer programming while pregnant. She started her company in a one-bedroom apartment in Columbus, Ohio. She had no investors, no partners, just herself and a laptop. She built websites for small businesses. Then she created software that helped companies organize their data. Her company grew fast. Within 5 years, she had 200 employees. Last year, a large technology company bought her business for $2 billion. Jordan saw photos of Destiny at conferences, Destiny accepting awards, Destiny speaking on stages in front of thousands of people. In every photo, she looked powerful. She looked confident. She looked nothing like the 24-year-old woman he kicked out of the practice gym 6 years ago. Jordan kept scrolling. Then he found a photo that made him stop. It was Destiny sitting in the stands at a basketball game. The 3 children sat next to her. They were younger in the photo, maybe 3 years old. They wore matching blue jackets. Destiny had her arms around them. All 4 of them were smiling. The caption under the photo said, Asterisk Destiny Robinson enjoys a basketball game in Columbus with her children. Jordan stared at the photo. They had a whole life without him. They went to games. They celebrated birthdays. They went to school. They grew up. And he was not there for any of it. Jordan put his phone down. He sat in the dark office and felt a pain in his chest that would not go away. The next morning, Jordan woke up to an email. The sender was Patricia Cole. The subject line said, Asterisk Visitation Schedule. Jordan opened the email immediately. Asterisk Mr. Williams. Miss Robinson has approved a visitation schedule for you to see Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus. The terms are as follows. You may see the children twice per week for 1 hour each visit. Meetings will take place at Thunder Arena in Conference Room C on the 3rd floor. Miss Robinson will be present at all meetings. You may not take the children outside of the building. You may not give them food without Miss Robinson's approval. Rules. 1. You may not raise your voice at the children. 2. You may not make promises you cannot keep. 3. You may not tell anyone the children are yours until Miss Robinson gives permission. 4. If you are late to a meeting, the meeting is canceled. 5. If you break any rule, visitation ends permanently. Your first meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, November 9th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Do you accept these terms? Patricia Cole, Executive Assistant, to Destiny Robinson, Asterisk Jordan read the email 5 times. He read every word carefully. Then he typed his response. Asterisk. I accept all terms. Thank you. He sent the email and put his phone down. Wednesday was 5 days away. Jordan did not know how he would wait that long. On Tuesday afternoon, Jordan left Thunder Arena early. He drove to a shopping center in downtown Detroit. He parked his car and walked into a toy store called Wonder Kids. The store was full of toys, games, books, and clothes for children. Jordan walked through the aisles slowly. He had no idea what 5-year-old children liked. A woman who worked at the store walked over to him. She wore a red apron with the store's name on it. "Can I help you find something?" she asked. "I need gifts for 3 5-year-old kids," Jordan said. "2 girls and a boy." "What do they like?" Jordan realized he did not know. He did not know what his own children liked. "I'm not sure." The woman smiled. "That's okay. Let me show you some popular items." She took Jordan to different sections of the store. She showed him dolls, action figures, board games, and art supplies. Jordan tried to remember anything the children said in the hallway. Marcus liked basketball. Kennedy said something about drawing when Patricia mentioned it. Maya liked to read. Jordan picked out 3 gifts: a small basketball for Marcus, a sketchbook with colored pencils for Kennedy, a book about famous women in sports for Maya. He paid for the gifts and drove home. On Wednesday, Jordan arrived at Thunder Arena at 3:30 in the afternoon. He was 30 minutes early. He took the elevator to the 3rd floor and found Conference Room C. The room had a long table with 8 chairs. Windows on one wall looked out at the parking lot. Jordan sat in a chair in the middle of the table. He put the 3 wrapped gifts in front of him. He waited. He checked his phone every 2 minutes. At 3:45, he stood up and paced around the room. At 3:50, he sat back down. At 3:55, he heard footsteps in the hallway. The door opened at exactly 4 o'clock. Destiny walked in first. She wore a black suit with a white shirt. Her hair was pulled back. Behind her, the 3 children walked into the room. Maya wore a yellow dress. Kennedy wore jeans and a purple sweater. Marcus wore a basketball jersey. Destiny walked to the end of the table and sat down. The children sat on the opposite side of the table from Jordan. Maya sat in the middle. Kennedy and Marcus sat on either side of her. Nobody spoke. Jordan looked at the 3 children. They looked back at him. The room was completely silent. Jordan tried to think of something to say. He tried to remember how to talk to kids, but his mind was blank. His hands started to sweat. The silence lasted a full minute. It felt like an hour. Finally, Marcus leaned forward. He looked at the 3 wrapped boxes on the table in front of Jordan. "Did you bring us anything?" Jordan's hands were shaking. He reached for the 3 gifts and slid them across the table. Marcus grabbed the smallest box first. He tore the wrapping paper with both hands. Inside was a basketball. It was small, the right size for a 5-year-old. Marcus held it up and smiled. "A basketball! Thank you!" Kennedy reached for the medium-sized box. She opened it carefully, pulling the tape off slowly. Inside was a sketchbook with a set of 24 colored pencils. Kennedy's eyes got wide. "I love drawing," she said quietly. She looked at Jordan. "How did you know?" "Patricia told me," Jordan said. His voice was shaky. Maya was the last to take a gift. She pulled the box toward her, but did not open it right away. She looked at Jordan first. "What is it?" she asked. "Open it and see," Jordan said. Maya unwrapped the paper. Inside was a book. The cover showed photos of women playing different sports. The title said, ***, Women Who Changed Sports. Maya opened the book and flipped through the pages. She did not say anything. "Do you like to read?" Jordan asked. "Yes," Maya said. She closed the book and put it on the table. "Thank you." Jordan nodded. He did not know what else to say. He looked at Destiny sitting at the end of the table. She watched him, but her face showed nothing. "So," Jordan said, turning back to the children, "tell me about school. What grade are you in?" "Kindergarten," Kennedy said. "We go to Brookside Elementary." "Do you like it?" "I like art class," Kennedy said. "We get to paint and draw." "I like recess," Marcus said. He bounced the basketball on the table. "We play on the playground." Destiny held up one hand. "No bouncing the ball inside, Marcus." Marcus stopped. "Sorry, Mom." Jordan looked at Maya. "What about you? What do you like at school?" "Reading time," Maya said, "and math." "You're good at math?" Jordan asked. "Yes." "What do you want to be when you grow up?" "A lawyer," Maya said. She said it fast, like she already knew for sure. Jordan smiled a little. "That's a good job. You have to be smart to be a lawyer." "I know," Maya said. The conversation felt stiff. Every question Jordan asked got a short answer. Yes, no, maybe. The children were polite, but they did not act like kids meeting their father. They acted like kids meeting a stranger. The hour went by slowly. Jordan asked about their favorite foods. He asked about their friends. He asked if they played any sports. Marcus said he played soccer. Kennedy said she wanted to try dance class. Maya said she did not like sports very much. When the hour ended, Destiny stood up. Time to go. The children stood up from their chairs. Kennedy held her sketchbook close to her chest. Marcus tucked the basketball under his arm. Maya carried her book. Can we come back? Kennedy asked Jordan. If your mom says yes, Jordan said. Kennedy looked at Destiny. Can we come back, Mom? We'll see, Destiny said. She walked to the door and opened it. The children followed her. None of them hugged Jordan. None of them said goodbye. They just left. Jordan sat alone in the conference room for 20 minutes after they were gone. 2 months passed. Jordan saw his children twice a week. Every meeting was in the same conference room. Every meeting lasted exactly 1 hour. Destiny sat at the end of the table every time. She rarely spoke, but Jordan could feel her watching him, studying him. The children stayed polite, but distant. They answered his questions, but did not ask many questions back. Sometimes Kennedy smiled when Jordan told a story about basketball. Sometimes Marcus laughed, but Maya never smiled. She watched Jordan with serious eyes, like she was waiting for him to leave again. At work, everything started to change. One Monday morning in January, Jordan arrived at his office and found an email from Destiny. The subject line said, * new hire. Jordan opened the email. * Mr. Williams. I have hired an assistant coach for the Detroit Thunder. Her name is Lisa Chen. She will start on Wednesday, January 12th. She coached women's college basketball at Stanford University for 15 years. You will include her in all team meetings and practices. Miss Robinson * Jordan read the email 3 times. An assistant coach. A woman assistant coach. Jordan had 4 assistant coaches already. All of them were men. He walked to the practice gym on Wednesday morning and saw a woman standing near the bench. She was in her 40s with short black hair. She wore Thunder coaching gear. Jordan walked over to her. Are you Lisa Chen? Yes. She held out her hand. You're Coach Williams. Jordan shook her hand. Welcome to the team. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Jordan's other assistant coaches stood nearby. One of them, a man named Gary Miller, whispered something to another coach. They both looked at Lisa and shook their heads. After practice, Gary walked into Jordan's office without knocking. You really gonna let a woman coach this team? Gary asked. Jordan looked up from his desk. Miss Robinson hired her. She's part of the staff now. This is a men's team, coach. The players aren't gonna respect her. Jordan felt anger in his chest. But the anger was not at Gary. It was at himself. Because 6 years ago, Jordan said the same things. He believed the same things. She has 15 years of coaching experience, Jordan said. The players will respect her if we respect her. Gary frowned. If you say so, coach. He left the office. More changes came fast. In February, Destiny hired a new director of operations. Her name was Monica Harris. She was 45 years old and worked in sports management for 20 years. In March, Destiny hired a new head of marketing. Her name was Jennifer Kwan. She was 32 and worked for 2 other NBA teams before coming to Detroit. Then in April, Destiny held a press conference. Every reporter in Detroit showed up. Jordan sat in the back of the room and watched. Destiny stood at a podium with microphones in front of her. She wore a navy blue suit. She looked confident and calm. Thank you all for coming. Destiny said. "Today, I am announcing the creation of the Detroit Thunder Women's Basketball League. Starting this fall, women's professional basketball will be played right here in Thunder Arena. We will have 8 teams. Games will be played on nights when the men's team is not playing. Tickets will be affordable. Coaching positions will be held by women. This league will show young girls that they belong in basketball." Reporters raised their hands and shouted questions. One reporter stood up. "Miss Robinson, can we get a comment from Coach Williams about this?" Everyone turned to look at Jordan sitting in the back row. Cameras pointed at him. Jordan stood up slowly. "I think it's a good idea," Jordan said. His voice was quiet. Another reporter spoke up. "Do you really believe that, Coach? Or are you just saying it because Miss Robinson is your boss?" Jordan did not answer. He sat back down. His face felt hot. The next week, Jordan walked through Thunder Arena and saw construction workers hanging new pictures on the walls. Large photos of female athletes covered every wall. Women playing basketball, women playing soccer, women running track, women playing tennis. A sign above the main hallway said, "Equality Hall, in big gold letters. Jordan walked through the hallway every day. He looked at the photos. One photo showed Destiny holding the ownership trophy on opening night. Her face filled the entire frame. Fans had different reactions to the changes. Some loved what Destiny was doing. They posted on social media saying she was making history. They bought tickets to the women's games before the season even started. But other fans were angry. They called sports radio shows and complained. They said Destiny was pushing an agenda. They said basketball is a men's sport. They said women do not understand the game. Jordan read the comments online one night. He sat in his house, scrolling through hundreds of posts. And then he saw his own words repeated by strangers. Women don't understand basketball. Women are too emotional to coach. This is a men's sport. Jordan felt sick. These people were saying exactly what he said 6 years ago. And they were wrong. Just like he was wrong. One Thursday night in late April, Jordan stayed late at Thunder Arena. He sat in his office watching game film on his computer. It was almost 11 o'clock at night. The building was empty and quiet. Someone knocked on his door. Jordan looked up. "Come in." The door opened. Destiny walked into his office. She wore jeans and a white shirt. Jordan had never seen her dressed casually before. She always wore suits. "Why are you still here?" Destiny asked. "Watching film," Jordan said. "Preparing for the next game." Destiny walked to the chair across from his desk and sat down. She did not ask permission. She just sat. "Do the changes bother you?" Destiny asked. "What changes?" "All of them. The new staff, the women's league, the pictures on the walls, Equality Hall." Jordan closed his laptop. "No, they don't bother me." "I don't believe you." Jordan leaned back in his chair. "Why does it matter if they bother me?" "Because for 10 years you were the most powerful person in this building," Destiny said. "You made every decision. You controlled everything. Now you don't. I want to know how that feels." Jordan looked at her face. She was not smiling. She was not angry. She just wanted an answer. "It feels strange," Jordan admitted. "Good," Destiny said. "Strange is what I felt 6 years ago when you kicked me out. Strange is what I felt when I gave birth to 3 babies, alone in a hospital in Columbus. Strange is what I felt every single day for 5 years while I built a company and raised our children without any help from you." Jordan said nothing. "You're going to feel strange for a long time, Jordan." Destiny stood up and walked to the door. She stopped and turned around. "This isn't just about the team. This is about showing you what powerlessness feels like. She left his office and closed the door. Jordan sat in silence for an hour after she left. He finally understood what was happening. Destiny was not just his boss. She was teaching him a lesson he should have learned 6 years ago. The next day, Jordan saw a reporter outside Thunder Arena with a camera. The reporter was interviewing fans as they walked toward the entrance. Jordan stood near his car and watched. He could hear the reporter's questions. "What do you think about Destiny Robinson as the new owner?" One fan, a man in his 30s, stopped and looked directly at the camera. "She bought the team to humiliate Jordan Williams, and honestly, he deserves it." Jordan got into his car and drove away from the arena. He could not stop thinking about what the fans said. Asterisk, he deserves it. Those words played in his head over and over during the drive home. 8 months passed. It was now March. The Detroit Thunder were in the playoff race. The team won more games than they lost, but Jordan did not feel proud. Every decision he made had to go through Destiny first. She approved his starting lineup every game. She sat in on meetings with players. She asked questions about his coaching strategy. Some players started asking Jordan why the owner was so involved. Jordan told them she cared about winning. But the real reason was different. Destiny was watching him. She was making sure he understood that nothing belonged to him anymore. On a Tuesday morning, Jordan woke up at 7 o'clock. His phone was on the table next to his bed. He reached for it and saw 53 text messages. His phone buzzed again. Another message. Then another. Jordan sat up in bed. Something was wrong. He opened his text messages. They were from people he had not talked to in years. Old friends, former players, other coaches. Every message said the same thing. Asterisk. Is it true? Did you really do that? Call me right now. Jordan opened Twitter. His name was at the top of the trending topics. Jordan Williams. He clicked on his name, and his screen filled with thousands of tweets. Asterisk Jordan Williams is a deadbeat dad. Jordan Williams abandoned his own children. Detroit Thunder coach is a disgrace. Jordan's hands started shaking. He clicked on one of the tweets. It had a link to an article. The headline was in big black letters. Side asterisk Thunder coach Jordan Williams abandoned his 3 children by Eric Moss, Detroit Sports. Daily asterisk. Jordan clicked the link. The article opened on his phone. There were photos of Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus. Photos from games. Photos from school events. Jordan started reading. Asterisk. 6 years ago, Jordan Williams told Destiny Robinson that women do not belong in basketball. 3 weeks later, she discovered she was pregnant with his children. Williams refused to answer her calls. He told her to handle the pregnancy alone. Robinson left Detroit and raised triplets by herself, while Williams continued his career. Last November, Robinson bought the Thunder for $800 million. Sources close to the family say Williams had no contact with his children for 5 years. Jordan kept reading. The article had quotes from anonymous sources, people who worked at Thunder Arena, people who saw Jordan ignore the children at games, people who heard him say women do not understand sports. Jordan dropped his phone on the bed. This could not be happening. He picked up the phone again and called Destiny. The call went straight to voicemail. Destiny, it's me. Please call me back. I just saw the article. We need to talk. Jordan got dressed fast. He put on jeans and a Thunder sweatshirt. He drove to Thunder Arena. When he pulled into the parking lot, he saw 10 reporters standing near the entrance. They had cameras and microphones. When they saw Jordan's car, they ran toward him. Jordan got out of his car. Reporters surrounded him immediately. They shouted questions all at once. Coach Williams, did you abandon your children? Did you tell Destiny Robinson that women don't belong in basketball? Are you ashamed of what you did? Coach Williams, look at the camera. Jordan pushed through the crowd. He did not answer any questions. He kept his head down and walked fast. A reporter grabbed his arm. Jordan pulled away and kept walking. He reached the entrance and went inside. Security guards closed the doors behind him. Jordan took the elevator to the 10th floor. He walked fast down the hallway to Destiny's office. Patricia stood outside the door. Mr. Williams, Miss Robinson is in a meeting. Jordan walked past her and opened the door. Destiny sat at her desk. She was on the phone. She looked up when Jordan walked in. She held up one finger, telling him to wait. I'll call you back, Destiny said into the phone. She hung up. You can't just walk into my office without permission. Did you leak the story? Jordan asked. His voice was loud. Close the door. Jordan closed the door. He walked to her desk. Did you tell that reporter about the kids? No. Then who did? I don't know, Jordan. And I don't care. The truth was always going to come out. My phone won't stop ringing. There are reporters outside. They have pictures of the kids, pictures from their school. I know. I saw the article. What am I supposed to do? Jordan asked. Destiny leaned back in her chair. That's your problem, not mine. Destiny, please, tell me what to do. You're a grown man, Jordan. Figure it out. Jordan sat down in one of the chairs. He put his head in his hands. This is going to ruin everything. Everything? Destiny's voice was cold. You still have a job, you still have a house, you still have money. What exactly is ruined? Jordan looked up at her. My reputation. Your reputation. Destiny stood up from her desk. 6 years ago, you ruined my reputation. You laughed at me in front of your entire team. You told everyone I was trying to trap you. You made me look like a liar. Did you care about my reputation then? I'm sorry. Stop saying you're sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. You need to deal with it. Jordan left her office. He took the elevator back down to the 2nd floor. He went to his office and locked the door. His phone kept buzzing. Calls, texts, emails. Jordan turned his phone off and sat in the dark. At 6 o'clock that evening, Jordan had to go back to Thunder Arena for a game. The Thunder were playing the Miami Heat. Jordan drove to the arena and parked in his usual spot. He walked toward the entrance. Reporters were still there. They shouted the same questions. Jordan ignored them and went inside. At 7 o'clock, Jordan walked through the tunnel toward the court. He could hear the crowd, but something was different. When Jordan stepped onto the court, the crowd did not cheer. They booed. 20,000 people booed him. Jordan stopped walking. He looked up at the crowd. Fans held signs. One sign said, "Deadbeat Dad." Asterisk in big red letters. Another sign said, "Women belong here." Jordan saw a young girl holding a sign that said, "My dad didn't leave me." Jordan walked to the bench. The booing got louder. He sat down and tried to focus on the game, but he could not think. He could not breathe. He felt 20,000 people staring at him with hate in their eyes. The game started. Jordan's team played badly. Nobody could focus. Miami scored over and over. By halftime, Miami was winning by 20 points. By the end of the game, Miami won by 30 points. It was the worst loss of the season. After the game, Jordan's phone turned back on automatically. Messages filled his screen. 3 sponsors sent emails saying they were ending their contracts with him. His agent called 5 times. Jordan did not call him back. Over the next 2 days, the story got bigger. National sports networks talked about it. ESPN ran a segment called Asterisk, the Jordan Williams Scandal. Radio shows discussed it for hours. People on social media posted thousands of comments. A famous female basketball coach was interviewed on television. She said Jordan Williams represented everything wrong with men in sports. A player on the Los Angeles Lakers said he would never play for Jordan Williams. Another coach said Jordan should resign. Jordan watched it all from his house. He did not leave. He did not answer his phone. He sat on his couch and watched his reputation collapse in 48 hours. Everything he built for 10 years was gone. On Thursday night, Jordan got a text message from Maya. It was the first time any of the children contacted him directly. The message said, Asterisk, kids at school are talking about you. They say you're a bad person. Is it true? Jordan stared at the message for 10 minutes. He did not know how to respond. Finally, he typed, Asterisk, I made mistakes, big mistakes, but I'm trying to be better. Maya did not respond. Jordan sat alone in his living room. He did not know how to respond. Finally, he typed, Asterisk, I made mistakes, big mistakes, but I'm trying to be better. Maya did not respond. Jordan sat alone in his living room. The television was off. The house was dark. He realized there was no way to hide anymore. Everyone knew what he did. The only thing left to do was tell the truth himself. Jordan picked up his phone and called his agent. It's Jordan. Schedule a press conference for tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. I'm going to tell the truth. His agent's voice came through the phone. Jordan, are you sure about this? Yes, Jordan said. Set it up. Thunder Arena, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'll call the venue and notify the press. But Jordan, you need to be prepared. This is going to be huge. Every network will be there. I know. I'm going to write you a statement. Something short. You read it and leave. Don't take questions. No statement, Jordan said. I'm going to tell the truth. My words. His agent was quiet for a moment. Black suit with a white shirt. No tie. He parked in the back lot away from the reporters who were already gathering at the front entrance. He walked through a side door and took the elevator to the third floor where the press conference room was located. Jordan walked into the empty room at 8:30. Rows of chairs faced a small stage. On the stage was a table with a chair behind it. Microphones covered the table. Jordan walked onto the stage and sat in the chair. He looked out at the empty room and tried to calm his breathing. At 9:15, people started arriving. Reporters, camera operators, photographers. They filled every seat in the room. Cameras were set up on tall stands in the back. Bright lights turned on, pointing at the stage. Jordan sat at the table and watched the room fill up. His agent walked in at 9:45. He came onto the stage and leaned down next to Jordan. ESPN is here. Fox Sports, NBC, CBS, everyone. This is going to be broadcast live across the country. Are you ready? No, Jordan said, but I'm doing it anyway. At exactly 10 o'clock, his agent stepped to the microphones. Thank you all for coming. Coach Jordan Williams has a statement to make. He will not be taking questions afterward. His agent stepped away from the table. Jordan stood up and walked to the microphones. He looked out at all the cameras, all the reporters with notebooks. He put his hands on the table to stop them from shaking. 6 years ago, Jordan began, a woman came to me and asked for a chance to coach basketball. Her name was Destiny Robinson. She was 24 years old. She worked as an assistant trainer for the Detroit Thunder. She loved basketball. She wanted to learn how to coach. She asked me if she could try out for a coaching position. Jordan paused. His throat felt dry. I laughed at her. I laughed at her in front of the entire practice gym. In front of coaches. In front of players. I told her women do not understand basketball. I told her women are too emotional to coach. I told her she was wasting my time. I told her to leave and never come back. The room was completely silent. Every reporter was writing or recording. Every camera was focused on Jordan's face. 3 weeks later, Destiny called me. She told me she was pregnant. I did not answer her calls. She called me 15 times. I never picked up. She came to my house. I did not open the door. I spoke to her through the door. I told her I did not want a baby. I told her she was trying to trap me. I told her to handle it alone. Jordan's voice started to crack. He stopped and took a breath. Destiny left Detroit that same night. She had $600 in her bank account. I never tried to find her. I never sent money. I never asked if she was okay. I abandoned her because I cared more about my reputation than her life. I cared more about my job than being a father. Jordan looked directly into the camera in front of him. Destiny was pregnant with triplets, 3 babies, Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus. She gave birth to them alone in a hospital in Columbus, Ohio. No partner, no family, just her. She raised them alone for 5 years while I stood on a basketball court being celebrated, while I won championships, while I signed endorsement deals, while my face was on billboards. My children were growing up without me, and I did nothing. Some reporters in the front row shook their heads. One woman wiped her eyes. I told Destiny that women do not belong in basketball. I was wrong. Destiny taught herself computer programming while she was pregnant. She built a $2 billion company while raising 3 children alone. She worked 20 hours a day. She did not sleep. She did not give up. She became one of the most successful entrepreneurs in America. And she did it all without any help from me. Jordan's hands gripped the edge of the table. Last year, Destiny bought the Detroit Thunder for $800 million. She bought my team, the team I thought belonged to me. She bought it to prove that women belong in basketball. And she was right. I spent 10 years believing I was superior because I was a man and a coach. I was not superior. I was wrong about everything. Jordan looked down at the table for a moment, then back up at the cameras. I am not asking for forgiveness. I do not deserve it. I humiliated a woman because I thought my power made me important. I abandoned my children because I was selfish. Those are facts. I cannot change what I did, but I can tell the truth about it. He paused. Destiny Robinson is a better person than I will ever be. She is stronger. She is smarter. She built something real while I just won games. Games do not matter when you destroy people. I destroyed her. I destroyed my relationship with my children before it even started. And I have to live with that for the rest of my life. Jordan stepped back from the microphones. Reporters immediately started shouting questions. Coach Williams, what do your children think of you? Are you going to resign? Does Destiny Robinson accept your apology? Jordan walked off the stage. His agent followed him. They left through a side door. Jordan walked to his car and drove home. He did not turn on his phone. He did not turn on the television. He sat in his living room and waited. By noon, the video was everywhere. 10 million people watched it online. By 6 o'clock that evening, 20 million people had seen it. By the end of the week, 50 million people watched Jordan's confession. The reactions were mixed. Some people said Jordan was brave for telling the truth. Others said he was only apologizing because he got caught. Female athletes and coaches posted responses online. A former WNBA player tweeted, "Apologies mean nothing without action. Show us you've changed. Don't just tell us." A college basketball coach wrote, "Jordan Williams had 6 years to do the right thing. He only spoke up when he had no choice." But some people defended him. A sports columnist wrote an article titled, "Everyone deserves a second chance." A podcast host said Jordan was trying to be better. Jordan read every comment, every article, every tweet. He did not respond to any of them. He knew most people were right. Apologizing was not enough. He had to prove he changed. Destiny watched the press conference alone in her office at Thunder Arena. She sat at her desk with her laptop open. She watched Jordan speak for 15 minutes. She watched him admit what he did. She watched him cry on camera. When the video ended, Destiny closed her laptop. She did not cry. She worked too hard to cry over Jordan Williams. But something inside her shifted. Something small. Jordan finally told the world the truth. He admitted he was wrong. He lost his reputation, his sponsors, his respect. He was experiencing the same collapse she experienced 6 years ago. Destiny did not feel happy about it. She thought she would. She thought watching Jordan lose everything would feel good. But it did not. It just made her tired. That night, Destiny was at home with the triplets. They lived in a large house in Bloomfield Hills, 20 minutes from downtown Detroit. The house had 5 bedrooms, a big backyard, and a basketball court. The triplets were in the living room playing a board game when Marcus looked up at Destiny. "Mom, can we call Jordan Dad now?" Destiny put down the book she was reading. "Why do you want to call him Dad?" "Because he said sorry," Marcus said. "He said sorry to everyone." Kennedy nodded. "I saw the video on your computer. He was crying." Maya did not say anything. She moved her game piece and kept her eyes on the board. Destiny looked at her 3 children. Saying sorry is not the same as being a dad. Jordan has to earn that. He has to show you that he will be there for you. Not just say it. Show it. "But can we ask him if we can call him Dad?" Kennedy asked. Destiny thought about it. Her voice was softer than usual when she answered. "Not yet. He has to prove he means what he said. When he does, you can ask him." Marcus looked disappointed. "How long will that take?" "I don't know," Destiny said. "As long as it takes." The next morning, Jordan woke up to an email. The sender was Destiny Robinson. The subject line was blank. Jordan opened it immediately. The message was short. "Asterisk, you told the truth. That does not fix what you did, but it is a start." Jordan stared at Destiny's email for a long time. Asterisk. It is a start. He read those 4 words over and over. They were not forgiveness. They were not acceptance. But they were something. They were more than he deserved. The next week was difficult. 3 more companies ended their sponsorship deals with Jordan. A shoe company sent an email saying they would no longer pay him to wear their shoes. A sports drink company removed his photo from their website. A car company canceled a commercial he was supposed to film. Jordan's agent called him on Monday afternoon. "Jordan, we need to talk about your future." "What about it?" Jordan asked. "You've lost most of your endorsements. Your reputation is damaged. Other teams are watching to see what happens. If the Thunder fires you, it might be hard to find another coaching job." "I know. Do you want me to start looking for other opportunities? Maybe overseas, Europe, Asia?" "No," Jordan said. "I'm staying in Detroit. This is where my kids are." "Okay, but Jordan, you need to think about this. Your career is on the line." "I don't care about my career right now. I care about my kids." His agent was quiet. "That's the first time I've ever heard you say that." "I know." The Thunder kept losing games. 5 games in a row. 6. 7. The players stopped listening to Jordan's instructions during games. They did not respect him anymore. Fans continued booing him every time he walked onto the court. The assistant coaches kept their distance. Even Lisa Chen, the new assistant coach, looked uncomfortable around him. On a Thursday night in late March, the Thunder lost to the worst team in the league. The final score was 105-83. It was embarrassing. After the game, Jordan sat alone in his office. He knew the truth. He was destroying the team. Jordan took the elevator to the 10th floor. It was almost midnight. He did not know if Destiny was still in the building, but her office lights were on. He knocked on the door. "Come in," Destiny's voice said. Jordan opened the door. Destiny sat at her desk, looking at her computer. She did not look surprised to see him. "The team is falling apart," Jordan said. "The players don't listen to me anymore. We're losing every game. You should fire me." Destiny leaned back in her chair. "I'm not firing you." "Why not? I'm making everything worse." "Sit down, Jordan." Jordan sat in the chair across from her desk. "You want me to fire you because that would be easy," Destiny said. "You could leave Detroit, start over somewhere else, pretend none of this happened. But I'm not going to let you run away again." "I'm not trying to run away. I'm trying to help the team." "The team will be fine. You need to focus on being a better person, not a better coach." "What does that mean?" "It means figure out who you want to be. Not who you were, who you want to be now." Jordan looked down at his hands. "I want to be a good father." "Then be one. Stop worrying about basketball. Start worrying about Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus." "How do I do that?" "You figure it out, Jordan. I can't teach you how to be a father. That's your job." Jordan left her office and drove home. He sat in his living room thinking about what Destiny said. Figure out who you want to be. Jordan realized he did not know the answer to that question. For 10 years, he was a basketball coach. That was his identity. That was all he cared about. But now, basketball felt meaningless. The next Saturday morning, Jordan drove to a neighborhood on the west side of Detroit. He parked in front of a building with a sign that said, West Side Youth Club. Jordan had driven past this building hundreds of times, but never stopped. It was a community center where kids came to play sports and do homework after school. Jordan walked inside. The lobby had old tile floors and fluorescent lights. A woman in her 50s sat at a desk. She had gray hair and wore a blue sweater. "Can I help you?" she asked. "Yes, my name is Jordan Williams. I want to volunteer here." The woman looked at him carefully. "You're the basketball coach. I've seen you on TV." "Yes, ma'am." "Why do you want to volunteer here?" Jordan took a breath. "I want to coach a girls' basketball team. For free. I want to teach them that they belong in basketball." The woman's eyes narrowed. "Why?" "Because I spent 10 years telling people that women don't belong in sports. I was wrong. I want to spend the rest of my life proving I was wrong." The woman studied his face. "My name is Dorothy Harris. I'm the director here. We have a girls' basketball team, ages 8 to 12. They practice every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. The coach quit last month. We need help." "I can help," Jordan said. "Can you pass a background check?" "Yes." "Can you commit to every Saturday morning?" "Yes." Dorothy handed him a form. "Fill this out. If everything checks out, you can start next Saturday." Jordan filled out the form right there at the desk. He gave it back to Dorothy. She looked at it and nodded. "We'll call you," she said. 5 days later, Dorothy called Jordan and told him he was approved. The next Saturday, Jordan arrived at Westside Youth Club at 8:30 in the morning. He wore a plain black t-shirt and athletic pants. No Thunder logos, no expensive shoes, just basic clothes. Dorothy took him to the gym. 15 girls stood on the court talking and laughing. They ranged from 8 years old to 12 years old. Most of them were black or Hispanic. None of them had expensive basketball shoes or new uniforms. They just had regular clothes and a love for the game. "Girls," Dorothy called out, "this is Coach Jordan. He's going to help you with basketball." The girls looked at Jordan. One girl raised her hand. "Are you the coach from TV? The one who made all those people mad?" Jordan nodded. "Yes, that's me." "Why are you here?" the girl asked. "Because I want to teach you basketball, and I want to learn how to be better." The girl looked suspicious but did not say anything else. Jordan started practice. He taught the girls how to dribble with both hands, how to shoot with proper form, how to pass the ball to teammates, how to play defense. The girls listened. They worked hard. They asked questions. At the end of practice, a 9-year-old girl named Ashley walked up to Jordan. "Coach Jordan, can girls be NBA coaches?" she asked. "Yes," Jordan said. "Really? I never seen a girl coach in the NBA." Jordan knelt down so he was at her eye level. "I'm going to tell you the truth. For a long time I did not believe girls could coach basketball. I thought only men could do it. But I was wrong. Girls can do anything. Women can do anything. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough." Ashley smiled. "Okay, coach." Jordan also started seeing a therapist. Her name was Dr. Angela Price. Her office was in downtown Detroit on the 15th floor of a tall building. Jordan went to see her every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon. During his first session, Dr. Price asked Jordan why he came. "I don't know how to be a father," Jordan said. "What kind of father do you want to be?" "I want to be the opposite of what I was." "That's not enough, Jordan. You need to define who you are, not just who you're not." Jordan talked about his childhood in Flint, Michigan. He talked about his father who worked in a factory and never showed emotion. He talked about learning that men had to be tough, that showing feelings meant you were weak. "Do you still believe that?" Dr. Price asked. "No," Jordan said. "I think I was afraid to show feelings, afraid to be vulnerable. So I acted like I was powerful, but I wasn't powerful, I was just scared." Over the next few weeks, Jordan kept seeing Dr. Price twice a week. He kept coaching at Westside Youth Club every Saturday. And he kept seeing his children twice a week in the conference room. The meetings with Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus started to change slowly. In April, Kennedy brought a school project to one of the meetings. It was a poster about famous basketball players. "Can you help me?" Kennedy asked Jordan. "I have to write about 3 basketball players." "Of course," Jordan said. They spent the entire hour working on the project together. Jordan told Kennedy about different players. Kennedy drew pictures and wrote facts on her poster. At the end of the hour, Kennedy smiled at Jordan. "Thank you," she said. "You're welcome." It was the first real smile she ever gave him. 2 weeks later, Marcus asked Jordan a question during their meeting. "Do you like soccer?" Marcus asked. "I've never played soccer," Jordan said, "but I like watching it. I have a game on Saturday. Can you come watch?" Jordan looked at Destiny sitting at the end of the table. Destiny shook her head. "Not yet, Marcus." Marcus looked sad. "Why not?" "Because we're not ready for that yet." But 2 weeks later, Destiny changed her mind. She sent Jordan a text message on Friday night. It said, "Marcus has a soccer game tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. Riverside Park, Field 3. You can come if you want." Jordan arrived at Riverside Park at 9:45. He sat in the bleachers by himself. Destiny sat on the other side with Maya and Kennedy. Jordan did not sit with them. He sat alone. The game started at 10 o'clock. Marcus played midfielder. He ran up and down the field chasing the ball. At 10:23, Marcus got the ball near the goal. He kicked it hard. The ball went into the net. Goal. Jordan stood up and cheered louder than anyone in the bleachers. Marcus looked over and saw him. Marcus's face lit up with the biggest smile Jordan had ever seen. After the game, Marcus ran over to Jordan. He held up his hand for a high five. Jordan gave him a high five. Their hands touched. It was the first time one of his children touched him voluntarily. "Did you see my goal?" Marcus asked. "I saw it. That was amazing." "I'm going to score more goals next game. Are you going to come?" "If your mom says I can, I'll be there." Marcus ran back to Destiny. Jordan walked to his car. He got inside and closed the door. Then he cried. He cried for 10 minutes sitting alone in his car in the parking lot. But these tears were different. They were not tears of shame. They were tears of gratitude. Maya watched Jordan cheer for Marcus from across the field. She stood next to Destiny and whispered, "Maybe he's trying, Mom?" Destiny did not respond to Maya's words. She just looked at Jordan's car in the parking lot and nodded once. Then she took the children home. The basketball season continued. April turned into May. The Detroit Thunder barely made it into the playoffs. They were the 8th seed, the last team to qualify. They played against the Boston Celtics in the first round. The Thunder lost the first game by 15 points. They lost the second game by 20 points. They lost the third game by 12 points. In 4 games, the series was over. The Thunder were eliminated, and Jordan stood on the sideline after the 4th loss. He watched the Celtics celebrate. His players walked to the locker room with their heads down. Jordan knew this might be his last game as head coach of the Detroit Thunder. His contract expired in 2 weeks. Normally, the team would have renewed his contract months ago. Championship coaches got extensions early, but Destiny had not said anything about his contract. Not one word. Jordan did not know if he still had a job. 3 days after the season ended, Jordan's agent called him. "Jordan, 2 teams called me, Charlotte and Portland. They want to know if you're available to coach next season." "What did you tell them?" Jordan asked. "I said I would talk to you. Charlotte is offering $5 million per year for 3 years. Portland is offering $6 million. Jordan was quiet. "Jordan, did you hear me? These are good offers. You should take meetings with them." "I can't leave Detroit." "Why not? The Thunder might not renew your contract. You need options." "My kids are here, Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus. If I leave Detroit, I lose them." "You could visit them, fly back on off days." "No, I need to be here. Tell Charlotte and Portland I'm not interested." His agent sighed. "Okay, I'll tell them. But Jordan, you're taking a big risk. What if Destiny fires you? Then I'll find another job in Detroit." Jordan hung up the phone. He knew he was risking everything. But he finally understood what mattered. Being close to his children mattered more than money or fame. On Friday morning, Jordan sent an email to Patricia asking for a meeting with Destiny. Patricia responded an hour later. The meeting was scheduled for Friday at 9 o'clock in the morning. Jordan did not sleep Thursday night. He lay in bed staring at the ceiling. He did not know what Destiny would say. Maybe she would fire him. Maybe she would renew his contract, but make him feel small. Maybe she would just say no and make him wait longer. Friday morning arrived. Jordan put on a gray suit and drove to Thunder Arena. He took the elevator to the 10th floor and walked to Destiny's office. He knocked on the door at exactly 9 o'clock. "Come in," Destiny said. Jordan walked in and closed the door behind him. Destiny sat behind her desk, wearing a black suit. Her hair was pulled back. Her face showed no emotion. "Sit down," Destiny said. Jordan sat. "Your contract expires in 2 weeks," Destiny said. "Do you want to stay in Detroit?" "Yes," Jordan said immediately. "Why?" "Because my kids are here. This is where I need to be." Destiny nodded. "I'm not renewing your contract as head coach of the Detroit Thunder." Jordan felt like the floor disappeared beneath him. His hands gripped the armrests of the chair. "Are you firing me?" "No, I'm offering you a different job. Jordan looked up at her face. What job? Destiny leaned forward and folded her hands on the desk. I'm creating a new position. Director of Youth Basketball Programs. This person will run basketball camps and coaching clinics for children all over Michigan. They will teach kids that everyone belongs in basketball. Girls, boys, everyone. The position pays 70% less than your current salary. There will be no cameras, no fame, no television interviews, just teaching. Jordan listened carefully to every word. You will work directly with kids who love the game, Destiny continued. You will teach them skills and respect. You will build programs in schools and community centers. You will train coaches. This is not a glamorous job. It's hard work with no spotlight. Are you interested? Jordan did not hesitate. Yes. Why? Destiny asked. Because this is the work that matters. Championships don't change lives. Teaching kids does. I've been coaching at Westside Youth Club for 2 months now. I teach 15 girls every Saturday. That work means more to me than anything I've done in 10 years. Destiny studied his face. Can you really walk away from being a head coach? Walk away from the fame and the attention? I'm not walking away from anything, Jordan said. I'm moving toward something better. Something real. Destiny was quiet for a moment. Then she nodded. You start in 3 weeks. June 1st. Patricia will send you the details. Thank you, Jordan said. There's something else, Destiny said. You can see Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus 3 times per week now, instead of twice. And you don't have to meet in the conference room anymore. You can take them to dinner, take them to the park, spend time with them outside this building. Jordan felt relief wash over him. Really? But the rules still apply. If you're late, the privilege ends. If you cancel, it's over. If you make a promise you don't keep, you're done. Do you understand? Yes, I understand. I won't be late. I won't cancel. I promise. The kids asked me something, Destiny said. Her voice was softer now. They asked if they could call you Dad. Jordan's breath caught in his throat. What did you say? I told them they have to ask you directly, when they're ready. When will that be? I don't know. Whenever they decide. Destiny stood up. That's all? You can go. Jordan stood up and walked to the door. He stopped and turned around. Thank you, Destiny, for giving me this chance. I know I don't deserve it. You're right, you don't. But Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus deserve a father who shows up. Be that father. I will. Jordan left her office and took the elevator down. When he got to his car, he sat inside and called his agent. Tell Charlotte in Portland I'm staying in Detroit. I accepted a different position. What position? His agent asked. Director of Youth Basketball Programs. What does that pay? A lot less. But I don't care. His agent was quiet. You've changed, Jordan. I know. That night, Jordan was sitting in his living room watching television when his phone buzzed. A text message. The sender was Kennedy. Jordan opened it immediately. Asterisk. Can we go to the park tomorrow, Dad? Jordan stared at the word Dad on his screen. He read it 10 times, 20 times. His eyes filled with tears. He typed a response with shaking hands. Asterisk. Yes. What time? Kennedy responded. Asterisk. Mom says 2 o'clock. Riverside Park. I'll be there. Jordan typed. He put his phone down on the couch next to him. Then he picked it up again and looked at the message one more time. Kennedy called him Dad. One of his children called him Dad. Jordan lay down on the couch and cried. But these were not tears of pain. These were tears of joy. For the first time in 6 years, Jordan felt like he was finally doing something right. The next day, Jordan arrived at Riverside Park at 1:45. He was 15 minutes early. He sat on a bench near the playground and waited. At exactly 2 o'clock, Destiny's car pulled into the parking lot. The 3 children got out of the back seat. They saw Jordan and ran toward him. Kennedy got to him first. "Hi, Dad." Jordan knelt down and hugged her. It was the first time she hugged him. Marcus ran up next, and Jordan hugged him too. "Can we go on the swings?" Marcus asked. "Yes, let's go." Maya walked slower. She stopped a few feet away from Jordan. She did not call him Dad. She just said, "Hi, Jordan." "Hi, Maya." Destiny stood near her car watching. Jordan looked at her. She gave him a small nod, then got back in her car and drove away. Jordan spent 2 hours at the park with his children. They went on the swings. They played on the slide. They kicked a soccer ball. Kennedy showed Jordan a new drawing she made. Marcus told him about school. Maya read her book on a bench, but stayed close to them. When it was time to go home, Destiny returned to pick them up. The children ran to her car. Kennedy turned around and waved at Jordan. "Bye, Dad. See you Wednesday." Jordan waved back. "Bye, Kennedy. Bye, Marcus. Bye, Maya." Maya looked at him but did not say goodbye. She just got in the car. Jordan watched them drive away. He walked to his own car and sat inside. He looked at his phone and saw the text from Kennedy one more time. The word Dad stared back at him from the screen. Jordan knew he still had a long way to go. Maya did not trust him yet. Marcus was young and might not fully understand what happened. Kennedy forgave easily, but that did not mean everything was fixed. But for the first time since Destiny walked onto that court 8 months ago, Jordan felt hope. He was no longer the head coach of a professional basketball team. He was no longer famous. He was no longer celebrated. But 2 of his children called him Dad, and that was worth more than any championship he ever won. 3 weeks later, on Monday, June 1st, Jordan started his new job. He arrived at Thunder Arena at 8 o'clock in the morning. He took the elevator to the 3rd floor and walked down the hallway until he found his new office. The door had a simple nameplate. Asterisk Jordan Williams, Director of Youth Basketball Programs. Jordan opened the door and walked inside. The office was small, much smaller than his old office. There was a desk, a chair, and a whiteboard on the wall. No television, no shelves with trophies, no photos of him with famous people. Just an empty room waiting to be filled with work. Jordan sat at the desk and turned on the computer. He spent the first hour reading through files that Destiny's team prepared for him. Lists of community centers across Michigan, contact information for schools, budget reports, everything he needed to build youth basketball programs from the ground up. By the end of the first week, Jordan had a plan. He would create summer basketball camps in 20 different cities across Michigan. Detroit, Flint, Grand Rapids, Lansing, Ann Arbor, and 15 others. Each camp would last 1 week. Kids ages 8 to 14 could attend for free. Oh, Jordan also hired a team of coaches to help him. He interviewed 30 people. He chose 12, 6 men and 6 women. One of the women was Dorothy Harris from Westside Youth Club. Another was Lisa Chen, the assistant coach who Destiny hired for the Thunder. Lisa wanted to work with kids instead of professional players. Jordan understood that feeling. Jordan also created a scholarship program for girls who wanted to play basketball but could not afford equipment or travel costs. The program would give each girl $200 for shoes, uniforms, and tournament fees. Destiny approved the entire budget without changing anything. The first camp started on Monday, June 15th at Westside Youth Club. Jordan arrived at 8:30 in the morning to set up. At 9 o'clock, kids started showing up. By 9:30, 40 kids filled the gym, 20 girls and 20 boys. They ranged from 8 years old to 14 years old. Most of them came from families who could not afford expensive camps. Jordan stood at center court and blew his whistle. The kids gathered around him. "Welcome to Thunder Youth Basketball Camp," Jordan said. "My name is Coach Jordan. Over the next week, you're going to learn basketball skills: dribbling, shooting, passing, defense. But you're also going to learn something more important. You're going to learn that everyone belongs on this court. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. It doesn't matter if you're tall or short. If you love basketball, you belong here." Jordan split the kids into 4 groups. Each group had a coach. They rotated through different stations. At one station, they practiced dribbling with both hands. At another station, they practiced shooting form. At another station, they practiced passing. At the last station, they played small games. At the end of the first day, a 9-year-old girl named Ashley walked up to Jordan. She had brown hair and 2 ponytails and wore a red t-shirt. "Coach Jordan, can girls be NBA coaches?" she asked. Jordan knelt down so he was at her eye level. "Yes, girls can be NBA coaches." "I never seen one on TV," Ashley said. "I know, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. Do you want to be a coach?" "Maybe. I don't know yet." Jordan looked at her seriously. "Can I tell you something?" Ashley nodded. "For a long time, I didn't believe girls could coach basketball. I thought only men could do it. I told a woman she couldn't coach because she was a woman. I was wrong. I was very wrong, and I hurt her because I didn't believe in her." "What happened to her?" Ashley asked. "She proved me wrong. She became very successful. And now she owns a basketball team." Ashley's eyes got big. "Really? Really? So when someone tells you that you can't do something because you're a girl, don't believe them. You can do anything." Ashley smiled. "Okay, Coach Jordan." Jordan also started seeing his children 3 times per week. On Wednesdays, he took them to dinner at a restaurant called Leo's Pizza in downtown Detroit. The restaurant had red checkered tablecloths and pictures of old Detroit on the walls. The first Wednesday they went, Marcus ordered a large pepperoni pizza for everyone to share. "This is my favorite restaurant," Marcus said with his mouth full of pizza. "Don't talk with your mouth full," Maya said. "Sorry." Kennedy showed Jordan drawings she made at school. One drawing was of a basketball court with 4 people on it. Jordan looked closer and saw the names written under each person: Mom, Maya, Kennedy, Marcus, and Dad. "Is this us?" Jordan asked. Kennedy nodded. "Yeah, that's you." She pointed to the figure labeled Dad. Jordan felt his throat get tight. "Can I keep this?" "Yes. I made it for you." Jordan folded the drawing carefully and put it in his pocket. On Saturdays, Jordan took the children to different places around Detroit. They went to the Detroit Zoo and looked at animals for 3 hours. Marcus wanted to see the lions. Kennedy wanted to see the butterflies. Maya wanted to see the penguins. Jordan bought them all ice cream from a cart near the exit. At the end of the day, Marcus's legs got tired from walking. He looked up at Jordan. "Can you carry me?" Jordan picked Marcus up and put him on his shoulders. Marcus laughed and held onto Jordan's head. Jordan carried him all the way back to the car. On Sundays, Jordan took them to the park. They rode bikes on the trails. They played soccer in the open fields. Kennedy brought her sketchbook and drew pictures of trees and birds while sitting on a blanket. The children started acting more comfortable around Jordan. They laughed at his jokes. They argued with each other in front of him. They asked him questions about everything. Kennedy asked why the sky was blue. Marcus asked if Jordan ever dunked a basketball. Maya asked why people were mean to each other. One Wednesday at Leo's Pizza, Kennedy saw 2 of her friends from school walk in with their parents. She waved at them and they came over to the table. "Hi, Kennedy," one of the girls said. "Hi, Sarah. This is my dad." Kennedy pointed at Jordan. Jordan felt his heart skip. Kennedy just introduced him as her dad to her friends, in public, without hesitation. "Hi," Jordan said to the girls. "Hi, Mr. Williams," they said. After the girls left, Jordan looked at Kennedy. "Thank you for introducing me to your friends." Kennedy smiled. "You're welcome, Dad." Maya still kept her distance. She did not call him Dad. She called him Jordan. She asked hard questions that made Jordan uncomfortable. One Sunday at the park, Maya asked, "Do you wish we were never born?" Jordan stopped pushing Marcus on the swing. He turned to look at Maya sitting on a bench reading her book. "No, Maya, I don't wish that. You three are the best thing I ever made. My biggest regret is not being there from the beginning." "Why weren't you there?" Maya asked. She put her book down and looked directly at him. "Because I was scared and selfish. I thought my job was more important than being your dad. I was wrong." "Are you going to leave again?" "Never." Maya stared at him. "I don't believe you yet." Jordan walked over and sat on the bench next to her. "That's okay. I understand. I'll prove it to you. I'll keep showing up. Every Wednesday, every Saturday, every Sunday. For as long as it takes." Maya picked up her book and started reading again, but Jordan saw something different in her face. Not trust. Not yet. But maybe the beginning of it. On a Saturday morning in late June, Jordan was coaching at Westside Youth Club. 40 kids filled the gym running drills. Jordan blew his whistle and called them to center court to practice defense. The gym door opened. Jordan looked over and saw Destiny walk in. Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus were with her. Jordan was surprised. Destiny never came to his camps. Destiny stood at the back of the gym and watched. The triplets asked if they could join the other kids on the court. Destiny nodded. Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus ran onto the court and joined the group. Jordan taught them all how to move their feet on defense, how to keep their hands up, how to stay between their opponent and the basket. After practice ended, Destiny walked over to Jordan. The kids were leaving with their parents. The gym was emptying out. "The kids respect you," Destiny said. "I hope so," Jordan said. "I can see that you're trying, really trying. I'm going to try for the rest of my life." Destiny looked at Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus, talking with other kids near the door. "Maya is starting to trust you. I know it's hard for her. It's hard for all of them, but especially Maya. She's protective. She doesn't want to get hurt. I won't hurt them again, I promise you that." Destiny looked at Jordan. "Don't promise me. Promise them." "I will." It was the first real conversation they had in months that did not feel like a boss talking to an employee. It felt like two parents talking about their children. Destiny called the triplets over. "Time to go home." The children said goodbye to their friends and walked toward the door. As they were leaving, Marcus suddenly ran back to Jordan. He wrapped his arms around Jordan's waist and hugged him tight. He did not say anything. He just hugged him. Jordan knelt down and hugged Marcus back. After a few seconds, Marcus let go and ran back to Destiny. They walked out of the gym together. Jordan stood alone in the empty gym. He realized something important. He was finally becoming the father he should have been from the beginning. Jordan locked the gym doors and walked to his car. He sat inside for a few minutes thinking about Marcus's hug, about how Kennedy introduced him as her dad, about how Maya was slowly starting to trust him. His life looked completely different than it did 2 years ago, and for the first time, Jordan felt like the change was good. 2 years passed. It was now June. Jordan was 38 years old. The Thunder Youth Basketball program had grown bigger than anyone expected. Jordan coached over 2,000 kids in the past 2 years. Programs ran in 30 different cities across Michigan. Hundreds of girls received scholarships. Parents sent Jordan emails thanking him for teaching their daughters that they belonged in sports. Other states started calling. Coaches from Ohio, Illinois, and Indiana wanted to know how to build similar programs. Jordan shared everything he learned. He did not keep secrets. He wanted every child to have opportunities. One Saturday morning in June, Jordan was at Westside Youth Club teaching a group of 50 kids. A reporter from the Detroit Free Press came to write a story about the program. The reporter watched Jordan work with the children for 2 hours. After practice ended, the reporter interviewed Jordan in the parking lot. "Coach Williams, 2 years ago you were the head coach of a professional basketball team. Now you work with kids in community centers. Do you miss coaching in the NBA?" "No," Jordan said. "This work is more important. I spent 10 years coaching professional athletes, but teaching kids? Teaching them that they can do anything? That's real. That's what matters." "How many kids have gone through your program?" "Over 2,000 in the last 2 years. About half are girls." "Why is it important to you that girls have access to basketball?" Jordan looked directly at the reporter. "Because for most of my life, I believed girls didn't belong in basketball. I was wrong, and I hurt people because of that belief. Now I'm trying to make sure no girl ever hears what I said to Destiny Robinson 6 years ago." The article was published the next week. The headline said, "Asterisk, From Disgrace to Redemption, How Jordan Williams Found Purpose in Youth Basketball." The article was shared thousands of times online. Some people said Jordan was a good example of someone who changed. Others said he was just trying to fix his reputation. Jordan did not respond to any comments. He just kept working. Jordan now saw his children 4 days per week, every Wednesday and Sunday for dinner, every Saturday at a basketball camp or the park, and every other Friday for movie night at Jordan's house. The triplets were 7 years old now. They were taller, smarter, and more confident. Kennedy still loved drawing. She filled notebooks with sketches of basketball courts, parks, and family portraits. She told Jordan she wanted to be a coach when she grew up, just like him. Jordan told her she would be a great coach. Marcus played soccer and basketball. He was fast and energetic. He made friends easily. He told everyone that his dad taught basketball to kids. Jordan went to every single one of Marcus's soccer games. He never missed one. Maya had finally started trusting Jordan. It happened slowly over 2 years, but now she called him Dad. Not all the time. Sometimes she still called him Jordan, but more and more she said Dad. She told her friends at school that her dad ran basketball programs. She introduced him to her teachers at parent conferences. And one night at dinner, she told him she loved him. It was a Wednesday in April. They were eating pizza at Leo's. Maya looked at Jordan and said, "I love you, Dad." Jordan stopped eating. He looked at Maya. Tears filled his eyes. "I love you too, Maya." It was the first time she ever said those words to him. Jordan thought about that moment every single day. Destiny watched Jordan's relationship with the children grow. She saw him show up on time every single week. She saw him keep every promise. She saw the way the children's faces lit up when they saw him. Maya told Destiny that she trusted Jordan now. That meant everything. Destiny also made changes in her own life. In May, she announced that she was selling the Detroit Thunder. She owned the team for 5 years. She sold it for $1 billion. That was $200 million more than she paid for it. Reporters asked her why she was selling. Destiny held a press conference at Thunder Arena. She stood at a podium with microphones in front of her. "I bought the Detroit Thunder to prove that women belong in basketball," Destiny said. "I proved it. Now I'm moving on to something bigger. I'm building basketball academies for girls in 20 cities across the United States. Every academy will be free for girls who cannot afford to pay." Every academy will be run by female coaches. We're calling it Rise Up Basketball. The crowd applauded. Destiny announced the 20 cities: Detroit, Columbus, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Miami, Atlanta, Phoenix, Philadelphia, San Antonio, Dallas, New York, Seattle, Boston, Denver, Portland, Memphis, Milwaukee, Indianapolis, and Charlotte. Each academy would have coaches, trainers, and equipment. Girls could come after school to practice basketball and get help with homework. Destiny was investing $500 million into the project. It was the largest investment in girls' basketball in American history. On a Tuesday in early June, Destiny called Jordan to her office. Jordan took the elevator to the 10th floor. He walked down the hallway and knocked on her door. "Come in," Destiny said. Jordan walked in and sat down. Destiny looked different. She looked lighter, less tense. "I'm leaving Detroit," Destiny said. "I'm moving back to Columbus, Ohio. The kids are moving with me." Jordan felt his chest tighten. "When?" "End of July. 6 weeks." "Can I still see them?" "Yes. You can visit them every other weekend. And they can come to Detroit on holidays. But Jordan, you need to understand something. I'm moving on with my life. Detroit was about proving a point. I proved it. Now I'm going home. I understand. You'll see the kids less. But if you stay consistent, if you keep showing up, they'll always be part of your life. I'll show up. Every other weekend, every holiday. I promise." Destiny nodded. "I believe you." 6 weeks later, on the last Saturday in July, Jordan spent the entire day with Maya, Kennedy, and Marcus. It was their last day in Detroit before moving to Columbus. Jordan took them to Belle Isle Park, a large island park in the Detroit River. They rented bikes and rode around the island for 2 hours. They stopped at the beach and threw rocks into the water. Kennedy sketched the Detroit skyline in her notebook. Marcus found a stick and pretended it was a sword. Maya sat next to Jordan on a bench and read her book. At 5 o'clock in the evening, they sat on a blanket near the water. The sun was setting. The sky turned orange and pink. Jordan bought them ice cream from a cart. They sat together eating ice cream and watching the sun go down. Marcus looked at Jordan. "Are you a good dad now?" Jordan looked at his son. "I'm trying to be. What do you think?" "I think you're good," Marcus said. Kennedy nodded. "You come to all my school events. You help me with my homework. You never miss our dinners. That's what good dads do." Maya was quiet. Then she spoke. "You're better than you were. You're not perfect, but you're trying." Jordan felt tears in his eyes. "That's all I can do. Keep trying. Keep showing up." Marcus leaned against Jordan's shoulder. Kennedy drew in her notebook. Maya kept reading. They sat together as the sun disappeared below the horizon. At 6:30, Jordan drove them back to Destiny's house in Bloomfield Hills. Destiny stood in the driveway waiting. The moving truck was already there. Most of their things were packed. Jordan walked the children to the door. He knelt down in front of them. "I'm going to miss you," Jordan said. His voice was shaking. "But I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll drive to Columbus. We'll spend the whole weekend together, okay?" "Okay," Kennedy said. She hugged him tight. Marcus hugged him next. "Will you still come to my soccer games?" "Everyone I can, I promise." Maya was last. She looked at Jordan for a long moment. Then she stepped forward and hugged him. "I love you, Dad." Jordan wrapped his arms around her. "I love you, Maya. I love all 3 of you. So much." The children went inside the house. Destiny stood on the porch. Jordan walked back to his car. Before he got in, he turned and looked at Destiny. "Thank you," Jordan said, "for giving me a second chance. I didn't deserve it." "You're right, you didn't," Destiny said. "But they deserved a father who showed up. You became that person. That's what matters. Jordan got in his car and drove away. He looked in the rearview mirror and saw the house getting smaller. His children were moving 3 hours away. He would see them less, but he would still see them. And that was more than he thought he would ever have. Jordan thought about the man he was 6 years ago, the man who laughed at destiny, the man who abandoned his children, the man who believed he was superior because of his power and fame. That man destroyed lives and felt no guilt, but that man was gone. Jordan was different now. He lost his fame, he lost his money, he lost his reputation. But he gained something more valuable. He gained his children's trust. He gained their love. He gained a purpose that mattered. Jordan knew he would never have full custody. He would never get back the 5 years he missed. He would never erase what he did to destiny. Those were consequences he would carry for the rest of his life. But he was part of his children's lives now, and he would fight to stay part of their lives forever. 5 years later, Jordan stood in the crowd at Columbus East High School. He wore a dark blue suit. He was 43 years old. His hair had some gray in it now. He held his phone up recording as students walked across the stage to receive their diplomas. Kennedy Williams was graduating. She was 12 years old, but this was a special ceremony for students who completed an advanced program. Kennedy walked across the stage wearing a white cap and gown. When they called her name, the crowd applauded. Kennedy saw Jordan in the audience. She stopped walking for a second. She pointed at him and mouthed 3 words. "Thank you, Dad." Jordan smiled. Tears ran down his face. He mouthed back, "I love you." Kennedy walked off the stage. Jordan kept recording until she was out of sight. Then he put his phone down and wiped his eyes. He looked around the auditorium and saw Destiny sitting with Maya and Marcus 5 rows ahead. Destiny turned around and looked at him. She did not smile, but she nodded once. Jordan nodded back. He finally earned the title that mattered most. Not coach, not celebrity, not champion. Dad. If you enjoyed today's video, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Don't waste time. Just click on the screen